Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and a very special short video on an HPS setup in Fastenal, FAST. The reason I want to put out this video is because it looks great on the weekly, daily, multiple time frames, and it seems like a perfect setup for a swing trade here. Not even talking about a scalp, but this has to be recommended for a trade that goes out a couple months at least. So it's going to be a good one for maybe some people who are just getting into trading and don't have time to watch day by day, tick by tick, or maybe someone who's just looking to swing a little bit longer, maybe even for an IRA type of trade. This would be a fantastic setup here. So first of all, we'll take a look at the daily chart here. And I've been in here a few times trading this, and you can see we have this nice organized downward channel. Now, if you're familiar with the HPS methodology, what we practice and preach and trade on day trading radio, there's certain things that we want to have all line up. Usually it's going to be the recognizable channel, divergence being on your side if you have a divergence, or at least momentum shift. Some things are very easy, and I stress this every single day. You have a bias in the market. If you're going to get in on a long, you might as well have your daily, and depending on what time frame you're going to be working, but use that time frame. If you're going to be looking at a long and looking at the hold it, not trading it on the shorter time frame, but holding it a couple of weeks, you want to have that daily on your side. It's just what it is. What it is. And as you can see, momentum usually brings momentum. That's why a stock making new highs, continue. A stock in motion stays in motion. That's really what you're dealing with here. So you're getting that momentum shifting. The motion is starting to go up. You have a good timing tool to help you manage that, and the majority of the time it works. Now, this will even add up even more if you have an underlying trend line or something else that kind of tells you that there's another level of interest here. Now, there's a couple things here. There was a underlying trend line that we didn't get down to 100%. We got close to it. Kind of have a little candlestick on the daily here as we got oversold, and we're starting to move back up. But the real key here is on the weekly chart. Now, like I said, love this stock. I never used their product, but I know that they're a well-known name. They have street cred. They're a good company, and it trades good. It really works well with some analysis and channels and technical levels, especially when it does trade into a channel and stuff. It's a little bit easier to time and stuff. And we want to time I'm saying this is a great long-term swing trade position right down here. And first of all, we have the daily lined up. So even on the short-term side, if you wanted to hold it a couple days or so, you still have this momentum starting to move up. We haven't gotten back above that 20 line. Sometimes that's even better to get the momentum, because this actually can drop and chop around sideways before we finally get up there. But there's other things that are at play here. We're off that lower trend line. We have a decent candle. Volume was good today. And we noticed that was picking up today earlier. We noticed the grind, so we added to the position. So now I've almost doubled down on the Fastenal, and my entry here is at 38.47. So you could say you're right where I am. It's not running away. I think this is a great setup, and this is the key for me. The weekly. Well, actually, was it the weekly? Yeah, it's the weekly. And we go out here. And then remember, this is a weekly. Each one of these candles represent a weekly weekly bar. And we know that one of our best setups are divergences, where we can recognize the lower low and the higher low in the stochastic. So here we have our first divergence, and when a divergence happens into a 1, 2, 3 channel, we have 3 defined pivot areas. 1, 2, 3. You typically want to trade 4 and 5. So 4 pushed up here against this. You had a lower trend line pivot. Went up to 4. Of course, you would come down to 5. And with the 5 here starting to turn back up, you got a divergence. And then normally, if this was like on the 5-minute time frame, you would trade this until it got overbought. You'd probably be out of it in a few minutes. If it was on the 60-minute time frame, you probably could trade that for a 2-day move. When it comes to the daily time frame, again, relative to what it is, here we have the weekly time frame. And this is going to, and this is very similar to a fast drop here, a decent candle, divergence. And then the following weeks, we kind of grinded higher until we got overextended. Market here tends to pull back and stuff, and then we just say, hey, well, let's go over here. All of a sudden, we see there's another divergence here. actually was back here. There was this divergence right here. This is our first one. I think we go even further back. So here was your divergence here, this nice downward channel line. The key is the divergence. And a nice follow through until you get overbought, and then you understand that, hey, your trade is getting old at this point, long in the tooth. You better be watching out there. So we had one here, then we had one here. I do believe we had one, there was another one here, very close to one I was going over with someone here. I think it was close to here. Well, either way, once we start to see that upside momentum pushing higher, we are looking much better on the weekly. So here we have the weekly. We spike lower. We make that lower low. We didn't cross back over and then turn back up. We never cross back down. So, this continues to turn up, and we start to build back into this candle. This is probably a perfect bottoming situation where we will recognize this as a divergence, even though it's not that classic divergence where you have that higher low and two pivot areas. Here you have the lower low, but not even a change here. Just looks good. It looks like a good divergence. And the daily, the daily's on your side too. So you have that weekly divergence, you have that daily setup, you have that nice channel line. Yep, that's about it. I mean, that's what we like about this. So I think it's a good setup. That brings us to almost to a 7-minute mark on the chart and on this video, and I'm going to send this out, and hopefully you'll gain from it. I'll be covering it on the show. I'm holding it right now, so it's a focus stock, and another couple other good stocks I'll just throw out there really fast. It's the Panera Bread here we're liking. This was also another divergence, and we kill it on the divergences. And a nice pop. We close up the highs here. Continue to look really good on Panera. So Panera, Fastenal. There's a couple other ones. Just come visit us at DayTraderRadio.com. We'll see you there, and we'll see you in the markets.